The subject for this week is leadership. While pretty much everything in the MPA program is about leadership, this week's focus is on the issue of leadership as it relates to managing diversity. I read lots of comments and articles about the difference between management and leadership. Some are good and some are just cliches. I think management is about effectively accomplishing your assigned tasks and responsibilities. Leadership, however, is about change. It's about doing things differently than currently. A leader needs to be a good manager, but a manager may or may not be a change leader. Diversity management is mostly about change. We have to change continually to interact with our environment, to obey the law, and to operate ethically. Managing diversity is first and foremost about leadership. Establishing new policies and practices that help us deal ethically and effectively with our diverse environment. One area we want to emphasize is a particular leadership skill, and that is about managing conflict that may arise when dealing with diversity issues. Earlier we talked about how diversity involves conflict, both constructive and destructive. A leader has to be prepared to manage both. Establishing a system for managing complaints or grievances is a critical piece of any diversity plan, or for that matter, any kind of management plan. Having such plans or conflict management systems is just good management. But it's also the law. If you don't have an effective complaint management system, you and your organization will pay, literally, through lawsuits. The reason for such systems is that employees have to feel that they have an effective avenue to voice their concerns about anything. And this is both ethical and practical. If you care about your employees, you know they have to have the opportunity to voice their concerns. That's the ethical part. It's just the right thing to do. For the practical reasons, first is the reality that if people do not have the opportunity to voice their concerns legitimately, they're going to find ways to express them that are not so legitimate and may be downright destructive. Suppression of conflict may work in the short run, but in the long run, there's likely to result in negative actions. Now, I hear again and again from those who assert that people shouldn't complain. People should just suck it up. They shouldn't be so sensitive. They should take personal responsibility, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We shouldn't need to have all these policies and laws, and they sometimes call it political correctness. You can feel that, okay, but the fact is that people behave in the ways they do, even if you think they shouldn't. Whether they should or shouldn't is not the issue. The fact is that they will, and managers need to have a plan to deal with those complaints. Conflict, like diversity itself, is a reality. The manager's and leader's job is to deal with it constructively. I want to note additionally, though, there's the legal reality that grievance and complaint processes are required by law. And the practical risk management reality is based on that civil law. Is that if organizations don't have a good, usable, and publicized grievance process, they can be sued for big bucks when bad stuff happens. We're liable if we're not prepared. Like in most any relationships, the shoulds don't matter.